When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de the Alzheimer's Association y the Ad Council.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Men in Nebraska can be set in their ways, but they can also be quick to change their minds. Just 10 minutes can be enough to step back and rethink the life-ending decision of suicide. If you have a friend or family member who's struggling with depression, talk to them about temporarily storing their guns away from their home. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your County Veteran Service Officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
This is Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into Bigger Than the Score. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, we got the host, Pete Ferguson, and joining me to my left, as well as a couple of guests in studio. We'll get to those guys later, but if you want to join in, 402-464-5685. That is the Sartor Hamann text line. You put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, X, Al Channel 961. Pete, how's it going on a Sunday?
You know what? Not too bad. We got some heat going on outside, but it's a good, nice breeze. I mean, I think the last couple of days we've had a nice breeze, so I think about Friday, there was nothing. It was pretty stiff. So cannot complain. And always got College World Series going on in Omaha. So I'm gonna take a quick trip up there and catch the game. At either a champion will be crowned, or we'll go ahead and have another game on Monday. So excited about that. Get to usually go see one of those games a year.
Hey, how many times have you been down to the College World Series now?
You know what? It's amazing. Been here and lived here. 89, 90, and just have a friend, Mike Alvarez, who's been on with his daughter. They get season tickets, and so he has graciously offered the opportunity and taken me along. So I guess I'm a grown adult now that I can join in that company, and so just going down and just experiencing it, and just an NCAA championship atmosphere is always cool, regardless of what the sport. I'd love to go see hockey, if anybody's gifting that, but whether it be lacrosse or whatever, I just think when you get to go see it at any level, whether it's D3, JUCO, or whatever else, it's just a little bit different because you're seeing high caliber play, just strategy, and just moments. I mean, I've got the Arizona shirt on, but it's because, they got bounced out right away. But I remember just, I'm watching that game against Louisville. They're up 3-0 or they're up by 3. And then just in the single span of an inning, 7-8 runs get scored. And I just remember them showing the Louisville coach speaking to the team. And they're like, what did you say? And he was like, don't wait, don't wait, don't wait. And then all of a sudden they come out on top. And then a game that might be there for the ages is the Arkansas.
Yeah, that one,
LSU game. And you're just watching that and you're just like, wow, there's 3 chances to close that game. But then you also think about LSU had moments too where they didn't do some things. And would Arkansas have even been in that situation? And so I just think it's just something unique when you get to that, and to have it in Omaha, I don't think sometimes everybody realizes how special that is.
Yeah. And that's where, I mean, just watching those moments, we're talking about it on Fitness Fanatics. Like, baseball has one of those games where the pressure just builds to an insane level. And you have those crazy moments. You're referencing that Arkansas LSU game, and I think Woods just came off a no-hitter the game before that, the pitcher for Arkansas, and it's like they got everything going for him, and you get to the bottom of the 9th inning, it's 5-3. They have multiple chances to end it right there. And then, of course, LSU, you credit to him, but then just the error on top of it hit a crazy bounce that allowed all those runs in there, and you tip your cap to Arkansas. But it's where you get to this point where just all the teams in there are just a pleasure to watch right now. And I'll ask this right now: Coastal Carolina, LSU. I know Coastal lost the first one, and they bounced back after, what was it, 27 games they won straight.
Yeah. I would love to see him one more game. I think it's just to see Coastal just keep that run. I mean, I don't want to say they're a Cinderella after you win 26, 27 games in a row. It's 60 games a season. You're not a Cinderella, but I think the longer those things go on, and I mean, you can go to the NBA Finals. I look at that. Yeah, you won a Game 7. There's going to be a new champion, first-time champion crowned. Go the duration, give the cliffhanger. And then, when that story happens, it'll be something to talk about forever. Whereas I think if it's the 2-zip or the 4-0, it loses some of that luster. And so I'm glad, to see whenever you can get the full duration of 3 games, 7 games, there's nothing like it in sports at any level. Now, as a parent, when you're growing up and we have a couple individuals that got, Lisa and Paul sit here, Lisa's like, I remember those times we were at a volleyball tournament, you're like, this needs to end. we need to get home. Like we cannot, like, y'all, like, hey, make the play or get blown out.
Yeah,
I
think sometimes basketball game goes to triple OT.
Man, you're on that, like, okay, the first free throw wins, and you're like, you didn't make free throws all game. Like, if you would have made free throws, why are we putting making free throws at the end to win the game part of the whole thing? And so I remember some of those flashbacks on Sunday. You're like, oh, it was so great. And you're like, man, I ain't gonna get home until 1 a.m. on Monday, and I got to go to work. So I do preface, we want 7 games, 3 games to go the full duration, those double elimination tournaments. We want that to happen at the upper levels.
Yes, absolutely. And also points out, just shout out to all the parents showing up to all those tournaments and everything. And obviously the few parents who, watching their kids go compete for a College World Series. And then, as you mentioned, a lot of things going on today. I don't think Coastal Carolina, I think they'll be able to get another one. There is no Scott Foster, though, when it comes to the College World Series, but there is a Scott Foster for the NBA.
Yes.
Tonight, Game 7. Who do you have? And that's 7:30 tip-off, Pacers Thunder.
I'm going to go with OKC. I think I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. I think it's going to be within a 5-point game. But I'm going to go with OKC at home. I feel like they got to capitalize on this moment. I think Indiana has got a better, their coaching and their strategy is going to be better. But OKC tonight.
All right, I'm going to go Pacers. I don't take my word for it. This has been the hardest playoffs for me to guess by far. And then final question, then we got to get to our guest here. Just because if this happens tonight, I do got to ask you, does that make SGA the greatest Thunder?
No.
Okay, who is?
No.
KD.
You got to stick with KD, Harden. I think it makes him the greatest Thunder at the moment in the time period, but it solidifies where he is.
KD over Russ?
If you ask who Oklahoma City Thunder, who is the face of that franchise,
it's Russ.
I think it's KD.
Oh, all right.
I think we're gonna have to argue with that. I think it's KD.
I think he burned that bridge. I think they respect him, but to me, that's Russ's town. Because I think Shea's got an MVP, just one. KD's got one MVP. Neither of them brought a title to the city. They're on more equal grounds than you would think. If he wins it,
I see the face. I see the face, and I think kids are walking around with KD jerseys.
Yeah, you might be right. We could argue about this for another hour if we really wanted to. We got some great guests though in studio.
No, well, with that being said, also just want to give a shout out to the Malone Center they hosted Juneteenth yesterday. John Goodwin, the Malone Hour, and they have that and did a tremendous job. And so we just want to give flowers where they're due in regards to that for truly bringing a full community event back to Woods Park. And I know next year it'll probably transition back to Trago with the opening of the new building. So I wanted to give that out on last week's show with just Delonte and Kaylana and Nick and Ali, just that Father's Day. If you haven't got a chance, you can always go back and listen to replays of that, but just really drop some nuggets. And so with that, we had some sports arguments. And so I'm going to open up with this question to our guests, since they are very sports knowledgeable. So we have Paul and Lisa and mom and son. And so before we ask you to introduce who you are, OKC or Indiana, which one? I'm going to start with you, Paul.
Okay. To be honest, I think it's going to be, like you said, I think it's going to be a really close game. I think it's just going to come down to, at the end of the day, obviously who can play cleaner, and which bench can perform better. Obi Toppin and TJ McConnell have been playing really well. Same with Alex Caruso. I think it's going to be really close. I could see it going either way. But we know that Pacers coach, they have a really good coaching staff. Like we saw in game 1, they could come back from pretty much anything. So I could see it going either way. But
you got to make a pick now. You got to make a pick. You're worse than some of the people on ESPN. I'm trying to get you a job here. You can't waver. You can't just say, oh, they're both equal. It's going to be a tie, and it's going to come up to free throws at the end.
I guess I have to go with, I'd say OKC just because they're at home, but I would not be mad if the Pacers won. But I go OKC.
Okay. Lisa, what about you?
I'm just going to go OKC.
With the simple breakdown, she just goes ahead, not the Stephen A, she just goes ahead, OKC. Well, I'm excited and I'm glad to have both of you all in house today. And this is what I'm going to do. Instead of just telling you, Paul, I want to have you introduce the person to your left. Tell us who she is, what she means to you, the journey that you've been on with her. And then likewise, I'm going to have her do that with you.
Yeah. To my left is Lisa Hart, my mom. She's just amazing mom, role model to me. Whatever I do, I kind of model it after her. She's taught me and my sister a lot through the years, and she's just a great person. So yeah.
Fantastic. And you mentioned your sister. Get name. I don't want she's listening. I don't want it left out of the whole mix. So
her name is Mary Beth, or MB.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. We're gonna ask you to share a little bit more about her. Lisa, tell us a little bit about this person to your right.
Yeah, this is my son, Paul, and he just finished his freshman year at Lincoln Standing Bear High School. He loves sports and is involved in a lot of extracurricular activities, and he's just all around a great kid.
Fantastic. And so, Lisa, tell us a little bit more about your journey and who you are. You have some ties to the place right down the street, and then also, and I'm gonna don it here a little bit later, but also you're just up the street as well, doing some coaching and some involvement. So tell us about how you got to Lincoln and your background.
So years ago, I played tennis here at the University of Nebraska.
You don't have to say years ago. You were acting like they just invented rackets. I mean, Paul's like, yeah.
Good point. Just a few years ago.
Okay, there we go.
For Scott Jacobson. Had a great experience and thought I'd be a teacher, but started coaching right out of school and loved it. And so I've been doing that ever since. And now I'm the head tennis coach at Concordia, men's and women's.
All right. And Concordia NAIA, for those that don't know, and then you do the men's and women's team. Tell us just a little bit about, how your background in regards to that, like growing up and playing sports. Did you play other things? How did you get into tennis?
Yeah. So I kind of fell into it a little bit. My older brother played, and so I was just kind of there. So I decided I might as well play too. I did play other sports, did a little basketball in high school as well. But tennis, it was always kind of my thing. So, yeah.
And where are you from?
Originally from Sunnyside, Washington. It's kind of in the middle of the state of Washington State. Small town.
Fantastic. I think we connected before when you were here. My dad was stationed at Fort Lewis, and so Tacoma, and so familiar with beautiful area.
Yeah.
And it's always tough to leave. They always wanted to go back. So in regards to that. All right. So Paul, tell us a little bit about, you told us about your family, but your first year at Standing Bear, like, how did you get to that point?
Yeah. Well, obviously, like you said, we moved here. I went to middle school at Scott Middle School. Make the decision to go to Standing Bear. And it's just been a great experience. I've had great teachers, great coaches. I was able to play basketball, football. I started a little bit of baseball before I was injured this year, but still got to have an opportunity to help out with the team. So just a great culture there. And I love the school. It's been awesome this year.
And you talked about that, and we'll talk about kind of your journey just athletically, but also with the injury and things like that. But had a standout football season. And I mean, your first year, and I know you're going to be real modest in regards to that. Also part of an organization with Prime Basketball Organization with John Harris Jr. And definitely want to give him a shout out. I know they're listening there in, I believe, Des Moines, playing. And so excited about that. Like your athletic and just your journey in general, like what did it come from mom and be like, why didn't you do tennis? You didn't mention tennis on there. So kind of want to know a little bit about like why you chose the ones that you chose and gravitated towards them.
Yeah. I mean, tennis, I took lessons when I was a lot younger. I just never really found the same enjoyment that I would with football or basketball or baseball. With football and basketball, I love like contact sports. So I feel like it's a little more competitive, physical, just like have more of a direct impact. I love team sports as well. Just the culture and the teamwork that goes into that. So just, it's been great playing those three.
I look at your mom a little bit, and you remind me of my mom and my dad. My dad was a big racquetball person. So when you said no contact at Harrison, you might be a little young to do this, but like he made it contact. Not only just bumping me, but for some reason he was so skilled with being able, you remember racquetball, like being able to hit the shot and hit me with the ball. I was like, oh, you got to get out of the way. You're supposed to get out of the way, you know, or you obstructed the point. So the tennis could have been some contact. I think as skilled as your mom is, she could have made you have contact, but with the ball in certain ways. Lisa, tell us just about a moment that you've had with Paul that, you know, as you've watched him kind of over the years, and it might be that elementary T-ball moment or, you know, or just the first, you know, reading to him or things picking up that you're just like, you know, that's something I'm going to savor forever. You know, there might be a state championship or a college opportunity or an academic opportunity, but what's something so far that you're just like, that's going to stick with me forever?
Tough one. I think when he was little, probably 4th or 5th grade, playing football for the first time with pads. It's when he just loves that sport. And I think when it's time for practice and he gets to put his pads on, he's just so excited. So I think I'll remember that as far as when he was little. He just kind of likes to play. You know, he likes to do, I mean, if I drop him off at the park, I mean, he could be there all day if we'd let him just play. So it's kind of been fun to watch him do that kind of stuff.
I think when you say dropping off in the park, that's that lost art.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at her. I think about driving around, and I just saw something online, and they were driving. They had all these basketball hoops up, and there was nobody out. And that shooting. So I think having that memory is pretty awesome. Paul, what about you with your mom? Like, what's a moment that she's said something to you, or you just like, man, okay, that's gonna stick with me forever?
Yeah. I mean, there's been quite a few, but I mean, throughout my whole life, she's always said, just treat others nicely, like be nice. She always says, do your best, work hard, be nice and tell the truth. And just like her telling me that pretty much remind me of that every day. Just help me go out and be like the best version of myself. Not only for myself and everybody around me, but for her in the back of my mind. Just every day I always think of that. So that's nice.
You know, I've been using this phrase, and I have to give DP credit, who you met earlier, and he talked about just loving people in the middle. You know, wherever you're at, loving people in the middle. And so I think when you talked about being nice, that just definitely resonates for me, because I think it takes you a lot farther than, you know, any of the accolades that you'll ever get that are given to you at an awards banquet or whatever else. People will remember not what you say, not what you did, like Maya Angelou said, but always remember how they made you feel. You know, Paul, talk a little bit. You're at Standing Bear first year, but you've been involved in various different programs. And so, you know, with Prime, I like the fact of what they talked about in regards to the values. And I'm going to look at here. It just talks about, you know, building just integrity, you know, building individuals beyond, you know, the final score, building individuals to be ready for a global economy, to be nice individuals. What do you look for in opportunities? You know, whether it be athletic or outside of athletics. I know you're going to be part of a youth cohort coming up this year. So what has to be absolutely essential for you to be, and, you know, say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to put my time towards this?
Yeah. I would just say a good culture, like where everybody is on the same page and doing the same thing. Like with Prime, like you said, Coach Harris and all our coaches there, their goal at the end of the day is to make us better people on and off the court, better competitors, better life skills. And looking for that kind of everywhere I go. That's kind of like a baseline of what I go off of. Like, what do you want to change, and what do you want to establish throughout your organization? That's kind of what I look for in my opportunities that I'm associated with.
So, Lisa, I know a lot of it will be very similar, but as a parent, you got a lot of parents out here, you know, listening, and I know you recruit a certain way at Concordia. I'm sure they probably align with your values, that what you look for your own son as you become that parent figure for others. But what do you think is absolutely non-negotiable that you look for, but other parents should look for, starting from Jumpstart, whether it's elementary school, middle, high school, or going to collegiate, for their son or daughter, if they're participating in something?
Yeah, I think that they're in it for the right reasons. You know, Coach Harris is great at this, as well as all of Paul's coaches at Standing Bear too. But they're very genuine, very honest. You know, it's maybe not always what you want to hear, but it's straight up. And I really appreciate that as a parent, because I don't have to guess what they're trying to say. And then, just making sure they're in it for the right reasons. Coach Harris is definitely in it for the kids, always, since day one. And he's been amazing with Paul, and through this injury especially. I mean, he's given him more attention, even though he hasn't been able to shoot or be on the court. He's just been such a great mentor for Paul. So I'm so appreciative to all of his coaches.
Right. And you talked about that attention, and I oftentimes talk about investment in people through purpose. And so can you give some examples of just what does that investment in people truly look like if they're in it for the right reasons? And I know that's subjective with different people, but sometimes people don't know. They're like, oh yeah, they're in it for the right reason. Hey, they're giving me a ride, or they're doing this. And you're like finding out like, well, they'll help me win. But the minute they're hurt, like you said, like they don't hear from you.
Right.
Or they move on to the next person, or they're not willing to have that honest conversation. My wife was like, you need to, like, when I was coaching, like in the email, like, you need to cut the fluff, and you're like, everybody wants to make individuals feel good. So what is an investment in people really look like when they're in it for the right reason?
Yeah, I think being willing to hold them accountable and be truthful with them and their parents. I think we're kind of in a society culture situation where we just want to tell everyone how great they are all the time. And sometimes we kind of need to have that honest conversation and some serious goal setting and hold the kids accountable. I think that's very, 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 very important. So, yeah, so that's kind of what I look for. Are they being real? Are they genuine? Treating all the kids fairly. Right. Doesn't mean you're treating them the same all the time, but fairly.
Yeah, and I always remember people would say like, oh, that coach has favorites, or like if you're a parent coach in an organization, and one of the things I'll say at like orientation meetings to individuals, because I didn't do it early on, is just say, you know what, this coach has a favorite, and if their son or their daughter's on the team saying, number 12, who is their son or their daughter, should be their favorite. They don't do favoritism. And there's a big difference between the two. But if that young lady or that young man does not know that person is their favorite, there's a long-term ramifications for that. And I think it's hard as a parent coach, because I didn't always express that. I was making sure that I didn't show that there was a favorite or a favoritism. And so I appreciate what you talked about. We're going to go to a quick break, and then we're going to come back with some more insight and talk about a little bit more about your journey physically, mentally, and then also continue to get advice from, I'm going to say, from Coach Lisa here. I'm going to refer, and I am going to don, I'm going to don a cap here that's going to add to this collection here. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Now's the best time to lock in early order savings on a new John Deere planter from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Plan for success with the latest technology, including Exact Emerge high-speed planters that help you cover more acres with greater precision and productivity. Order your planter for next year now to unlock the biggest savings of the season. Contact your local Landmark location today and experience the Landmark difference.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, Call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Keep summer green with Judson Baleen and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install 'em and forget 'em outfit, long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread's Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread's Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197. Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
In dealing with the high interest rates, it's very important that you get as much bang for the buck, and that's what our Remington Homes is all about.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, whether you want painted trim or other upgrades. Those are all options with our Remington Homes. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an affordable price. And that's what Remington Homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, and joined on the ones and twos with a spirited conversation during break with Harrison. I always appreciate him being here on Sundays. And we've got 2 phenomenal guests in studio, and they're just watching us. They're like, "Dude, is this what happens every Sunday?" It's like, yes, we're still discussing some of the NBA relevancy of individuals, but greatest player of all time, Hakeem Olajuwon. So we can just settle the debate right there.
All right, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, I will say it's better than when we get to the NFL season. So you guys are saving that. Pete's not walked in here with all his Cowboys gear. A little bit better.
Hey, Prime Days is coming up. We'll see what we can go ahead and pick up for you. But we're joined with Lisa and Paul, and mother and a son, and just sharing some dialogue and just giving really great advice. And Lisa is the head tennis coach for men's and women's at Concordia University. And so Concordia is an NAIA school and up here in Seward. And so Lisa, talk a little bit just about that and then the culture that's there. I actually got to play against the women's basketball coach, so Olson. And so I will say great individual, has really established a championship. I mean, Concordia has some championship pedigree and culture of what's going on there, and just gives some insight about the school.
Yeah, just unbelievable culture. So positive. Devin Smith and Angela Moeller, our administrators, our athletic director and associate AD, are just unbelievable humans first, but unbelievable leaders. And they've just put a great group of coaches together, and our staff really supports one another, and just really committed to excellence on and off the court or field or whatever it is. So yeah, it is. I just finished my second year there, and it has been just a tremendous experience, more than I ever thought it would be.
Well, and you were an assistant at Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
And so talk about some of the differences between, and I don't want to say levels, because I think people get it twisted a little bit about the commitment. Like wherever you go, you have to make a commitment, whether you're a coach, whether it's your family, whether it's the players, the trainers, etc. It just may not be the same type of bus or plane ride that individuals get, or per diems.
Right.
But talk a little bit of just about like the difference between the two, and then what were some of the similarities?
Yeah. Well, some of the similarities, I mean, it's a different, maybe a little different level, but you still have really committed athletes that care deeply about their sport and are committed to academics and doing things right in the community. And then the differences, we take a van and, we travel differently, obviously, but still the competitiveness, and it's been great.
Well, and what I tell people is that it's the bus ride home.
Yeah.
I say, and I'm going to ask you about that in a little bit, but, I tell people, like, let your kid do the bus ride home.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of those lost things that, especially from a high school level, like, you can take your kid home. And I know there's protocols in different places, but even collegiately, like as I watched and saw some of that, it's like, maybe it cut a cost, or, hey, I'm going to go home with so-and-so, I'm going to go home with my parents. Like that conversation becomes very, very different than what it is if you're in the bus with the coaches and other players, whether it's you had success or whether you struggled. It's just, those are the things for me that I remember, is that bus ride home on the wins, but also the losses. And maybe when I didn't do my best, it's, how do you navigate and handle your feelings, but also uplift other people as a team leader. So I like that fact that the van ride, we had the Bronco bus. I went to Hastings College. And so that was always one of the highlights for me. So Paul, talk a little bit about, you had an injury this year, and it wasn't, you never expect that. You had a great football season, basketball, and then started into baseball. And so tell us a little bit about the injury that you had.
Yeah. So near the end of the basketball season, I just had a collision, kind of a weird way to have the injury. I just tore my ulnar collateral ligament, something like that. But my UCL is what they call it. It's like a Tommy John injury, and it's usually typical in pitchers or baseball players. But I just got collided with the wrong way, and I didn't know it for a while, so I played a couple more basketball games. Eventually, I had an MRI, found out about it, and to be honest, at first I was a little distraught, but my mom and a bunch of other people helped me realize, like, it's an opportunity to work on other things, like your right hand, your non-dominant hand, your mind, your mental game, a bunch of other things that in the end matter a lot too. So it's been a blessing and a curse at the same time.
So as you talked about that, and oftentimes we talk about the athlete, the physical side of things, and focused on that, but you just brought up the mental side, that it's allowed you to have some focus on that. What was one of the best things that happened as you talked about focusing on the mental side of things? And then probably in all reality, what was one of the hardest things?
Yeah. Of course, the hard things, just watching everybody else play. I love to compete. I love to play. And just missing out on that, it kind of felt empty. I was really disappointed with that. But at the end of the day, I know that supporting them is the only thing I can do. So a good thing that came from it mentally was just watching and learning, because you can learn a lot more when you're not too busy competing. I can watch basketball, for instance, like see what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, how to avoid turnovers when I do come back, and just kind of mentally getting ready to come back to the game that I love playing.
Like that. Lisa, what about you? As you sat there as a parent, I think it's important to, I have a daughter, and I remember we were fortunate, but, she didn't have too many injuries, but remember going through that mode when some of those presented themselves, or the possibility that, she might be out for a duration of time. How did you handle that? And what piece of advice would you have for parents that are going through that, but also how they prepare themselves in advance?
Yeah. Yeah, it was so disappointing. I mean, just kind of we didn't expect it, I don't think. And it was just kind of, doing everything to you can't do anything type thing. So I think what we really tried to do is kind of keep our mindset on what can we do though, and so that's changed. It's gotten more and more as we're getting closer to the finish line here. But okay, you can shoot right-handed. Let's see how good we can get with our right hand. And he's gotten pretty good at it. But yeah, I think just kind of keeping the focus on what can we do, and kind of looking forward so we don't get too depressed with the current situation. Right. And shout out to all of his coaches too, because they've done such a great job, texting him and making sure he's good mentally and all of those things. I think I'm going to take some of that with my coaching, because he'll come home and be like, oh, Coach Rinholt sent me the nicest text, or Coach Schultz asked how I'm doing, or Coach Harris will take him to dinner, or, those kind of things. And I probably as a coach need to be better with my injured people.
Right.
So,
well, and so as you navigate that, just as a parent, what's a piece of advice that you would have for other parents at every level? I mean, I think about, like, you're going in that emergency room, or you're going, after an injury, or you're like, okay, hey, we need to go see somebody. And a lot of things are going through your head. You're kind of like, okay, I hope it's not this serious, or I hope it's just nothing and it's just going to relax our minds. Or to the point, like, okay, what if it is this? What's that first question you ask? And I oftentimes see a lot of people, that first question is like, okay, how long?
yes.
When are they going to be back?
Yeah.
And I caught myself doing that, not only for, my daughter, but also now for myself when I go in, like, how long? And he's like, dude, you're 50. Like, it's going to be a while. How many times can you go to physical therapy, or is the university taking you on as one of their experiments? And so what's the questions that you would say, okay, have this in your head so you're not asking this and setting yourself up for disappointment?
Yeah, I think that's that. Listen to the doctors, I think, just kind of try to realize that it's probably not as bad as your mind might tell you it is, and kind of keep the focus on what are the things we can do short term, to kind of build up to getting back, if that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, it was very, very disappointing, I think, for Paul initially, but, to realize it could be so much worse. I mean, there's always people that are going through many worse things, if that makes sense. So
Right.
I think just to keep perspective, which is, so easy to say, so hard to do.
So, Paul, how have you kept perspective? And maybe is there somebody that's given you a piece of advice, or somebody that you've watched, whether it's whether it's an elementary school person, somebody else in your school or on your team, that has allowed you to say, okay, I just need to, for a minute, this isn't as bad as I think it is.
Yeah. I mean, of course, Coach Harris, like I said earlier, he actually had an injury when he was in college. He told me about it right when I got hurt. Like, I wasn't able to play basketball near the end of my college career, is kind of what he told me. And when I thought about that, it's like, I'm not the only one that goes through hard things, and I won't be the last one or the first one. Like, my mom always tells me, on the way to Standing Bear, pretty much every day we drive by like the cancer center, and I think, like, man, my situation can be so much worse. But just trying to keep a good positive attitude. Like, at the end of the day, it could always be worse. So just trying to look at the bright side, see the silver lining, and get past it.
I like what you said, when you drive by things and there's things that kind of put things into perspective, providing hope that, tomorrow's going to be better than today. And so I can appreciate that from you. So, you are entering your sophomore year. I want you to just reflect a little bit about just kind of some of those steps that got you to this point. And I've asked you some moments about with mom that have been special, that have resonated. What's one moment that you're looking forward to? And I'm going to ask you to kind of give maybe a precursor to her. Like, is it that senior day walking across the stage and she's there watching and she's got tears in her eyes? It's like, that's my baby boy, or she's got the air horns when it says, "Hey, please keep the noise down so we can hear everybody else's name." And then all of a sudden that one person's like, they're not talking about me, not about my baby. But what is a precursor to, something you're looking forward to sharing, with your mom in the future?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, walking across the stage as a senior, that will be crazy. Just it seems so far away, but I know it will basically happen tomorrow. Like, it goes by so fast. So those little things, just like seeing her in the stands after a game, like waving to her on my way to the locker room after a big win, something like that. Just getting to know that I couldn't be here without her, couldn't be wherever I am without her, and looking forward to the moments that I can share with her.
Awesome. Before we go to break, Lisa, what's a moment you're looking forward to most?
I think just that's hard. I think, he's such a, I mean, every parent probably says this, but he's such a nice kid.
No, not every parent says that. Harris and I are sitting there like, let me record that so I can go ahead and tell my daughter, okay, yeah, somebody has said that. No.
I love watching him compete, because that's obviously what he loves to do. He loves sports, but I love watching him, pick up garbage on the way to the car, or be nice to a kid that obviously needs it, or, so those are kind of the moments that make me more proud than the competition.
Awesome. Like that. We're going to go to a quick break. And then when we come back on 93.7 The Ticket, I'm going to make you proud by donning a Concordia Bulldog cap. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Husker fans, the 2025 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support in the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $185. This plan includes tickets to Michigan or USC, plus Akron or Houston Christian, and either Michigan State, Northwestern, or Iowa. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red!
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick a time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Are you buying a home? Westgate Bank understands that you need to make important decisions during your home buying journey. Our local lenders in Lincoln and Omaha make themselves available so you can get the information you need to know. Use our mobile mortgage app to manage your transaction from pre-qualification to closing, no matter where you are. Get the service and convenience you want from a local community bank where our interest is you. Learn more and visit us online at westgate.bank. Westgate Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
4th of July weekend is coming soon, and you know what that means. Grilling season. You know what's more embarrassing than an overcooked piece of meat? A dirty, disgusting, and grimy grill. Let the pros at Husker Grill Cleaning get you ready for grilling season. They'll take your grill apart piece by piece, scrub every inch, and reassemble your grill so it can look and perform its best. Visit their website, huskergrillcleaning.com today to schedule your appointment. Husker Grill Cleaning, serving Lincoln, Omaha, Malcolm, and more.
Staying healthy and comfortable starts with the air you breathe. If you're noticing more dust, odors, or allergies, it could be time for duct cleaning from Bryant. Pure Air starts with cleaner air ducts. Pair with enhanced filtration and purifications options, and the difference is amazing. When the air you breathe is clean and fresh, your home smells fresher, and your family is healthier. Time for cleaner air in your home? Call Bryant for a free estimate. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Play ball! Ready for summer fun and ballpark vibes? Bring your pack to Haymarket Park for a thrilling season of Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball and unleash the fun. From May through August, the Lincoln Salt Dogs will be playing and the park will be popping with all the food, drinks, and fun you need for the perfect night out. Grab your friends, family, and coworkers and make plans now. Visit saltdogs.com to secure your tickets. Come on out to the park and unleash the fun.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, joined on the ones and twos with Harrison. Got a full day of programming coming up, Harrison, I know, right after this.
Yeah, as always, right after this one, we'll have The Breeze, DP, myself, and I believe we have Hosta Breezy. If not, Hosta Breezy's coaching, some more basketball, and me and DP will carry it. Then the W, and then from there, we should just be right back on to regular programming. Bill's Thrills, the new show from 4 to 5. Ellie, one of our producers, will be debuting that one with Jeffrey. And then, yeah, just right on schedule. Emma Spence, Chris Kolarvik, Ricky C. Simmons, as well as a few others throughout the night here. So be sure to stay tuned in. And we will have College World Series take over later, but you guys can continue listening on the Ticket app or any of the streams.
Fantastic. And if you missed any part of the show, go to the archives. You can go to the 93.7 The Ticket website, and it's archived, and Red Circle has all of it. Or you can go to the YouTube or Facebook. Definitely watch that. But we've had Lisa Hart and we've had Paul both here in studio. And I visioned myself and made that transition. I've got the C on. I've got the Concordia Bulldog hat on to support you all and everything that you do, but also the culture there. I'm a Hastings College grad, so I'm sure I'm going to get some letters and some interesting Facebook messages, but it's all about providing perspective and good places for young people to be. So definitely, if you get that opportunity, check out. And as you're looking for tennis players with great perspective, great attitudes, I think with what you've shared would be a fantastic opportunity to engage with you. So one of the questions I want to ask before we get into our love huddle and you give that final 30 seconds, what if you could grant one wish for each other, what would it be? And so Paul, I'm going to start with you. If you could grant one wish for your mom, what would it be?
That's a tough question. I feel like she's very grateful for what she has. So I don't really know if there's a wish I could give her. Maybe just, I think she'd like to, I don't know, just be able to be in many places at once. I know it's kind of weird wish, because I play sports, my sister plays sports, she coaches. A lot of times, like, she's usually at all our games, but sometimes she can't make it and she really wants to make it. So just to be able to be in 5 places at once, that'd be a great wish.
I think the biggest transition probably from when we were playing, and I'm not giving ages out or anything, but that virtual opportunity to watch things online just did not exist. I mean, people don't understand how relatively new that is. And so, but being there in person is definitely something different. Lisa, what about you? What's one wish that you have for Paul?
I think just health, just health. be able to play and be healthy and live a happy life.
Like that. Paul, we always ask before we do the love huddle, what's your future aspirations? Where do you see yourself in not just 5 years, but 10 years from now?
Yeah. Well, of course, my passion is sports. And living through that, I want to play sports as long as I possibly can. So of course, just pursuing that would be awesome. Afterwards, just kind of even coaching, helping others. Like right now, I help out with youth football in Lincoln when I can in the fall. And I ref a little bit, just being around sports. I just love that feeling and being able to play sports. I just love that. So just keep doing that as long as I can.
So your prime teammates are listening. You got 30 seconds. You're going to give a love huddle. They're all gathered around, the whole organization. You got Concordia tennis people around. What's the message you give to them right now to get them inspired to move forward to greatness?
Yeah. I just say run your own race. Some people have a marathon. Some people have a sprint. Just keep working hard. Shout out to all my prime teammates. Jure, he's been on here before. Just shout out to all those guys. Keep staying disciplined. Keep working. And, of course, I'll see him in a couple days. So just can't wait to see you soon.
Lisa, your final message to just parents in general that are going through success, but also going through challenges. What's that love huddle you give them?
Try to just live in the moment, enjoy the process, 1 minute at a time. Nothing's ever as bad as we think or as good as we think. And, just kind of try to enjoy it along the way.
Really appreciate both of you. Paul, people want to get information about you. Where can they see that Instagram huddle?
Yeah, I do not have an Instagram. I did recently get a Twitter account. So Paul Hart 2028, I think, on Twitter. I don't really run it, but yeah. And then I'm on Huddle, just Paul Hart, Lincoln Standing Bear. So
we'll post that on my Twitter. And then if they want to get in touch with you, Lisa, Concordia, they can go to the Concordia Athletic website.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks for both of y'all being on. Enjoy the rest of the Sunday, and we'll see you next week on 93.7 The Ticket.